Ditembakkan dengan begitu kejinya.
The country has lost approximately 277 billion ringgit due to corruption.
A Malaysian influencer received a 100 ringgit Malaysia fine after admitting guilt to a charge under Section 14 of the Minor Offences Act 1955.
Sources said the suspects were believed to have given bribes exceeding 200,000 ringgit to officials of statutory bodies.
A total of 171 adults were arrested, including Islamic religious teachers, during coordinated...
Malaysian Prime Minister Najib Razak arrived for his pre-trial hearing in Kuala Lumpur.
And MACC had since seized some $38 million worth of cash in various currencies, not just in ringgit, but also in Japanese yen, British pounds, including US and Singapore dollars.
Just imagine a world where everyone has access to justice, where corruption doesn't steal opportunities, and where people feel safe in their communities. But sadly, this is not the reality for many people. So, this is why we need SDG 16, which also stands for Peace, Justice, and Strong Institution. Let me tell you more about it, and you'll begin to care after watching this video. So hi, my name is Jien Shen, and I'm going to be the speaker throughout this whole video. Let's continue. So what is SDG 16? SDG 16 stands for Sustainable Development Goal 16. It is one of the 17 goals set by the United Nations as part of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. It focuses on promoting peace, justice, and strong institutions. The key targets for SDG 16 is reduce violence and abusing, exploitation and trafficking, promote rule of law, reduce corruption and bribery, develop effective institutions, ensure public access to information, and lastly, strengthen participation. So why is it relevant to us? And why does it even matter? You see, I know we don't have votes in Malaysia, but there's a lot of continuous existing topics such as bullying, cyberbullying, racial injustice, and different kinds of corruption, which I believe it can harm the Malaysian society and affect our daily lives until this day. Besides that, communities around the world can be affected too. Now, let's talk about the problem. There are a few problems in Malaysia that keeps getting worse, and most people nowadays are already aware of them. I believe it's through TV, newspapers, or social media. And yeah, it's all over the place. So the first issue is rising cases of corruption and weak governance. In case you don't know what it means, corruption means the abuse of power for personal gain which involves dishonest or illegal activity. It undermines fairness, justice, and development in a community. The example of corruption will be such as bribery, misuse of funds, and extortion. For weak governance, it basically means poor leadership and management of a government. It happens when leaders of government fail to make proper decision and management for the community. The example will be such as unfair rules, wasted tax money, or ignored problems. Corruption remains a deep-rooted problem in Malaysia, weakening public trust in institutions and impeding fair governance. Despite efforts by authorities to combat corruption, scandals involving high-ranking officials, misuse of public funds, and bribery cases are continued to be shown publicly, but not fully. Corruption weakens public institutions, reducing their ability to serve citizens effectively. Then, foreign investors may be hesitant to do business in Malaysia due to a lack of transparency, and corrupt governance lead to unequal wealth distribution, where elites benefits while the public suffers. So let's bring in the news as an example for this key point. One of the Malaysia's biggest corruption scandals, 1MDB, involved the embezzlement of billions of dollars from a state investment fund. Former Prime Minister Najib Razak was sentenced to 12 years in prison in 2022 for his involvement. But investigation revealed that the stolen money had been laundered globally. The scandal exposed weaknesses in Malaysia's financial oversight system and led to international inspection of the country's weak governance. Next, to the second issue is human rights violation and restrictions on freedom of expression. Malaysia has been criticized for its treatment of human rights activists, journalists, and marginalized groups. Despite claiming to support democracy, the laws limit free speech and political dissent. Issues like police brutality, protest suppression, and religious discrimination also raise our concerns. Suppression of dissent discourages citizen participation in governance. Religious and ethnic minorities may continue to face discrimination if their rights are not protected. And failure to address abuse or brutality cases raises concerns over the existing right policies and the ability of law enforcement to act against perpetrators. For example, there is a case of child abuse linked to a religious organization in Malaysia. In September 2024, Malaysian police rescued over 400 minors from property owned by an Islamic organization called GISB, which is also known as Global Ikhwan Service and Businesses. Reports indicated that many of these children had been subjected to physical and sexual abuse. This case raised serious concerns about child protection laws, oversights of religious institutions, and the failure of Malaysia authorities to prevent such tragic cases. For the last one will be crime and public safety concerns. Crime remains a concern in Malaysia, particularly in human trafficking, gang-related violence, and drug trafficking. While crime rates have fluctuated over the years, these issues continue to pose risks to public safety and economic stability. Despite efforts by law enforcement, Malaysia remains a major hub for drug syndicates and gang activities. Criminal organizations involved in human smuggling, weapon trafficking, and drug distribution operate across the country, sometimes with the collusion of corrupt laws and enforcement officials. Crimes like this tarnishes Malaysia's international reputation, leading to potential trade sanctions. Weak law enforcement allows organized crime to flourish, making communities unsafe. Alright, so here is the proposed solution to these challenges in achieving SDG 16, and I believe that all of it is especially important. Our proposed solution to fight corruption and strengthening governance is strengthen anti-corruption laws and enforcement. Amend the Malaysian Anti-Corruption Commission MSCC Act to grant full independence to the MSCC to prevent any political interference. Implement stricter penalties for corrupt officials, including lifetime bans from holding public office. Enforce public asset declaration laws requiring politicians and civil servants to disclose their wealth annually. Strengthen whistleblower protection laws, encouraging citizens to report corruption without fear of retaliation. Also, enhance transparency and public accountability. Impose real-time public disclosure of government expenditures, contracts, and tenders through a transparent online database. Introduce open government initiative to allow civil society and media greater access to government information. This can both reduce corruption and gain trust of the public. For the second one, the solution to better protection of human rights and freedom of expression in Malaysia is remove strict laws that suppress free speech. Repeal or amend the Sedition Act 1948 and Communication and Multimedia Act 1998 to prevent any misuse against journalists, activists, and political opponents. Establish independent media councils to regulate press freedom while preventing the spread of any misinformation. Also, enhance protection of human protection laws. Implement strict licensing and monitoring of religious and private institutions to prevent any child abuse or more. Ensuring compulsory background checks for all educators, religious instructors working with minors, and any members of authorities. The next one will be the solution to strengthening law enforcement to improve public safety. Start fighting against human trafficking and forced labors. Strengthen border control measures using AI-powered surveillance to detect illegal trafficking routes. Implement a national victim support system, providing legal aid and rehabilitation programs for trafficking survivors. Increase penalties for companies involved in forced labor, including permanent business bans. Then, adding reduced gang-related violence and drug trafficking. Deploy specialized anti-gang law enforcement units focused on intelligence-driven operation. Introduce rehabilitation-focused drug policies, shifting away from mass incarceration to treatment-based approaches. Strengthen interagency cooperation between police, customs, and immigration to prevent cross-border crime. It's coming to an end, but how can viewers like you to involve on making a change on all of these problems? Now that you understand the importance of SDG 16 and the problem that affects it, here's how you can make a big difference. Please note it down and listen very carefully. The first one is you must speak up against any injustice cases. Report any type of corruption, bullying, and abuse. Make it online transparent if possible to avoid any unfair treatment from the officials. The second will be educate yourself more and also educate the others. Stay informed about human rights issues and learn how to legally counter any type of these problems in the nation. The third one will be engage more in community leadership. Join any student councils or any positive activism groups. The fourth one will be use social media responsibly. Spread more of this related awareness and avoid any misinformation, no matter what kind of social media platform it is, even if it's Instagram or Facebook. The fifth one, which is the last one, will be support NGOs and initiatives. Feel free to donate or volunteer for organizations that fight for justice in the nation. So before I end this video, you have to understand that together we can create a more just, peaceful and inclusive world. It starts with all of us, and so it means it starts with you. Thank you.